Hello everybody, this is Peter from BurgZerg Arcade at BurgZergArcade.net, and today is kind of a, basically a standalone video. We're going to go ahead and take a look how to sync up your animations across the network. And I'm going to be using our character controller that we're making in our RPG character controller. And we do have a series on just the networking in Unity coming up shortly. We'll probably make another racing car game or something like that out of it. Be a good comparison on what's different between Photon and Unity. But for this one here, it's kind of a standalone on both. I'm going to be using that character controller project, but I'm going to be using a copy of it. So if you're following along with that character controller series, you do not have to implement this inside of your character controller, as this will not be in the series. But with that said, let's go ahead and take a quick look at this. Now we're going to be looking at the networking in Unity more in depth later on, but I did want to give a quick demonstration of it here. So this is the exact same scene we're using for our character controller. The only difference is that I've gone ahead and moved the camera so that it's looking at our wall from the side now. And I've gone ahead and created two empty game objects, and I've called them spawn point A, spawn point B. I've gone ahead and added a gizmo just so they show up in the scene so I can see them better. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and actually create one more empty, and this one's going to be called Network Manager. And the first thing I want to do is with the Network Manager, we're going to add a component. We're going to come down to Network, and we need the Network Manager and the Network Manager HUD. If you add the HUD, it adds the manager for you. So we'll go ahead and we'll select that. And if we go ahead and hit play, the HUD is just this thing over here. And like I said, we are going to cover that a little bit more in depth later. All right, so the next thing I want to do is take spawn point A, and we're going to add a network spawn point or start position. And we're going to add the exact same component to B. And again, for the quick lowdown dirty, the network manager is going to pick up all these things when the scene first loads. And when you go ahead and start the scene, it just knows that these are basically your spawn points in game. So I'm going to come down, make sure my spawn info is expanded. We're going to go ahead and make a prefab in a minute, but first we want to take this player spawn method, switch to round robin. And the way that works is it's going to fill one first, then use the next one, then bounce back and forth. But I want to go ahead and take care of this player prefab first. So I've already gone ahead. This is just our character controller from before. I'm going to drag him into the scene. Not sure why he's disabled. We'll apply that to that. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into this script, the movement script. A few things I want to do here. We're going to add another using statement, and this is going to be using the Unity engine.networking. This is where all the networking goodness from the Unity side comes in. And we're going to want to come down to our class declaration here, where we're inheriting from mono behavior. We now want to inherit from network behavior. Now, network behavior inherits from mono behavior, so all the stuff that was available to us in mono behaviors is still available to us in network behaviors, except we also get all that networking goodness as well. And let me just quickly come down. We're going to be doing something in the update here. We don't want to get input from everything. What's all that from? We'll get rid of that. And that's it for now. So we're just going to do those two things. We're going to come back in, and when you inherit from a network behavior, you automatically get, when you drag this script onto something, you automatically get, I wonder if it'll add it for us if we drag it again. No, we can't add it again. We could delete it. We don't have any parameters, I believe, in it. So let's go ahead and we'll just remove it. And if we go ahead and drag it on, we're also going to get this network identity. Of course, we could just go into the networking and add it as well. Network identity right here. Do we have any parameters in here? Nothing that we need to worry about. Now, these are added from being a network behavior, and we'll cover those in the networking series. For here, I want to go ahead and select local player authority. Again, we'll cover this in the networking series, but I want to be able to move on my machine and have all the other machines know, well, where I'm moving, what animation to play. So with that done, I'm going to go ahead and save this scene off. Actually, wait, no, we got to go to the network. Let's apply it first. Save it back to the prefab. Come into the network manager where our prefab is. Go ahead, pick that and drag it up there. And if it doesn't go up there for some reason, make sure that you do have that network identity because you do need it in order to put it there. I'm going to go ahead and disable the one that we have here. We're probably doing a few more things with it, so I'm not going to get rid of it. We'll get rid of it. Just clean up the scene. I'm going to go ahead and save that off. I'm going to go ahead and do a build. This will make a standalone version for us right here. And since I want both at the same time, I'm going to unmaximize this screen. Yep, they're all here. They're both here. So we'll load this one up. Actually, we'll start this one. We'll make this one here our client. Or sorry, our host. And there we go. It drops me in over here. And I'm going to go ahead, become a client over here. And we see it drops me in over there. Now, I'm working inside of our standard build. If I hit the button, both of them run. And if we come over here, nothing happened. Nothing moved. But if we do try to move in here, the exact same behavior happens. So the first thing I want to do is take the input that we're doing from our local client and not have it affect everyone. So we'll go ahead, we'll quit that. We're going to close there. We're going to come into our script and right before any of the input is put in. So I don't want to put it here and here. I'm just going to put it one line up in the update. And what I want to do is check to see if we're the local player. And if we're not the local player, don't do any of this input stuff because the network will move us. So we're just going to have a return in here. One line. And of course, if we come back in, do another build, and like before, we go ahead and start this up. I'll be the host. Come into our standalone build. We'll let that be the client. And now it just affects whatever the local player is, but we're still not updating. Now, normally we use a network transform for that, but this time around, we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and take our beta, drop them back in, and we'll add another component here. This time around, we're going to look at network animator. And it's going to ask us what animator we want to use. Since we want to use our local animator, and you can't drag, oh, maybe you can drag and drop this. Ah, you can. What I've always done in the past is just take the actual object itself and drag it on. Is that a new Unity 5 feature where you can drag one component to the other? We did get a little message, but I'm not sure what that's about. Anyway, if we come down here, we have these two toggle boxes, and this refers back to Mecanim. We'll go ahead, we'll open this up. These properties over here. As we start adding more and more of them here, well, you're going to get a longer and longer list, and you just want to check the ones that you want to sync over the network. It is quite possible that there's going to be certain animations that you don't want to sync. For now, just to make things simple, I'm going to toggle both, and we'll scroll up to the top, hit reapply, or drag it back into it. I like the apply method. I'll come back into my scene, go back into my game build. Let's go ahead, let's hit a build. And did I forget to get rid of them? I did. Didn't I? I did. So I'm going to go ahead, get rid of them again. Luckily, the scene is pretty small, builds are pretty quick. So we'll go ahead, we'll start this bad boy back up. Hit play, host, client. And I'm inside the client here, and if I go to run, yay, we see it now. Now, we probably will be playing around with network transforms later. And of course, as we see, it just moves the one, and it moves it properly. But that won't be till a little bit later on. And I want to get the networking series out before we actually take a look at that. But anyway, here we go. We've got an easy way now to go ahead and move characters on the screen and keep their animations synced. And of course, there is more to it than this. But this is the basics. Yeah. So make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more videos. It really does help me out on YouTube, and it's probably the best way to actually show support. But anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. So if you like the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. It really does help me out here on YouTube. And go ahead and follow me on Twitter. You're a pretty chatty guy over there when I'm not walking through a forest or being stalked by eagles and falcons, lions, tigers, and bears.